Brew Strong is brought to you by Blickman Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blickmanengineering.com.
Brewers, it's time for the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think. Jamil Zainasheff and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy, hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Greetings.
Another fine day in the studio.
We are ready for another fine show. That's for sure.
Born ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got my Evil 3 in front of me. I'm good.
Got your Evil 3 in front of you? I am going to the Homebrewers conference this year.
Excellent.
I'm
looking forward to that one.
Barring another bout of pneumonia or something like that.
Tornadoes.
Are you
going to drive this time or are you going to fly?
Hell no, I'm not driving.
Okay.
Are you going to stop by and see the world headquarters, Der Bleichmann?
Der Bleichmann headquarters? No. I will see Der Bleichmann headquarters sometime later. I was thinking that might be possible. However, I need to get my distribution set up in Indiana.
Ooh. Come visit whenever.
I get that set up, I'm coming on out. So, you know what that's going to mean. You're going to be shooting. You're going to be drinking. Drinking and shooting.
If you come out, we'll set up...
probably some crying.
You ever do USPSA shoots? IDPA shoots?
No.
International Defensive Pistol Association?
No.
United States Practical Shooting Association?
No. I don't need to associate my shooting.
Yeah, they just set up scenarios and you just run around with guns and shoot shit while you're running. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like that sort of thing.
We can skeet shoot with ARs. That's what we do in Indiana.
Yeah. Well, and you're going to be there, Mr. Bleishman.
Yes.
At the conference.
Mm-hmm. You bring anything conference? New?
We're hoping to bring cooling systems for the fermenters.
Nice.
We'll have our new Riptide pump that we teaser announced. That'll be well into production by then. That thing's going to be awesome.
What can you tell us about it?
It's you can actually look it up on the webpage.
So, what could you tell us about it? Other than we can look it up on the webpage.
So,
can you tell us? Somebody sign language him. Can you tell us what the Riptide pump is all about?
Yes, the Riptide pump is our new pump coming out this spring. That is tool-free disassembly. And it's got an integral valve in it. It's got a switch. Nice power cord, a nice stable base. Basically everything.
Power cord, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah.
And a base.
It's got a power cord.
Then tip over.
Yeah, and it's got a vent. If you notice, the March pump has got problem. It's one of its things is just kind of a difficult pump to get primed. This is a simple pull the tab, and it'll vent all the air out of your pump and get you up and running immediately.
Nice.
But uses a little tri-clamp connection. You just loosen that up, the whole pump disassembles.
Very nice.
That's slick.
Excellent.
That's the kind of innovation we've come to expect from it.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. Blickman Engineering, I say, I generally don't say nice things when you're here, but if you go back to the archives of the shows, you'll hear me say all sorts of nice things about when you're not here, about how brilliant you are and how creative you are and how you apply that with a passion and love for brewing and the people that brew, and you really seem to have a great love for what you do and how you can impact people's brew day and make it better. And you seem to get a huge kick out of that. And it's not about money. It's about, you exercising your brain and your creativity and, your knowledge. And so, I think you're a very impressive guy. And I think it's great to be associated with you. And it's great to have you as our sponsor for so many years. And the fact that you pay for the show so nobody needs to pay for the show is pretty amazing. So I think everybody should send you email to feedback@BlickmanEngineering.com.
Or support.
Or support it.
As a user who enjoys your products, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I do really like to hear...
so truly from the heart. I mean all that.
Hear the feedback from you guys. It's great. I really just appreciate what the Brewing Network has done for... the brewing community and all the knowledge they've spread and all the advancements in homebrewing. That's happened over the years. I mean, it's just amazing. Since
you might need a
test, but the growth and growth in brewing all over the world. A lot of it's due to the Brewing Network.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to brag, but I mean, look at the how Polyguile is just taking the brewing world by storm now.
Right? Yes. Yeah. After only 1 week or 2 weeks.
One test session.
5 minutes. Something like that.
It is all the rage. Yeah. If you don't know what Polyguile is, you should look it up. We'll have to do another Polyguile show.
There you go. We could even call it Polyguile Imony.
Polygamy is what he's trying to, I don't know. That is pretty good. Polygamy, yeah.
I think of things like that.
Maybe I'll use that joke when I'm at Fuller's. I'll tell them Polyguile. I'll tell them about Polyguile. They will get a kick out of that, I'm sure.
Yep.
Spread it.
When are you going to Fuller's?
Huh?
When are you going to Fuller's?
March.
Oh, okay.
Doing a collab with Fuller's.
All right, and that's part of that big March Sweden thing.
I'm jazzed.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to be 5 weeks on the road.
That's going to be amazing.
I leave February 28th. I get back April 2nd.
Ugh.
I'm headed out myself end of February, going to Peru and the Latin American conference. And,
you're going to
Peru. Cusco.
Peru.
Yep.
Okay. My hearing's going. Maybe it's these headphones.
I could be slurring my words. You never know when beer's involved.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'm going to be in Europe myself about the same time we get there. I'm going to be in Norway as opposed to Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, going to Dublin for their National Brewer Conference.
I'm going to Norway as well.
That'll be good.
And I'm going to pass through Dublin on my way from Boston to over to Europe.
Well, we're taking the world by storm.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Going to be great. Going to have a good old time. Anyways, we got distracted. BlickmanEngineering.com.
Right.
There you go.
It's got a B, couple of N's.
.com.
Yeah. There you go. Today, we wanted to talk about fan.
Yep.
Not fanboys. No, not ceiling fans. Free amino nitrogen and what it means to your brew. It means a lot to every fermentation. It's really, a key source of nutrition for the yeast in their growth.
Right. Prime building
blocks. And generally, we don't worry about that because we're using all malt wort. But if you're using a high adjunct, or you're making a cider, or you're making a mead, or something like that, it becomes even more critical.
Right.
However, it's possible, like anything, to overuse fan, and it can have some detrimental effects. So it's a fascinating subject about how we're going to talk about how fan will improve your ferment, additional fan, or not adding additional fan, or what kind of signs you can see that you have too much or you have too little.
Right.
Fascinating stuff. All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll jump right in to your fan right after this.
The
21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, they're amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you a member of the White Labs Customer Club? If not, you should be. It's the easiest way to earn free stuff for turning in your old homebrew labels from either Vials or Pure Pitch. All you have to do is save your labels and redeem them for things like free yeast, an exclusive White Labs t-shirt or sweatshirt, and even the opportunity to brew with the yeast man himself, Chris White. Signing up is easy. Just go to whitelabs.com/customer club, fill out the registration form, and then mail in your labels. They will return the favor by sending you awesome White Labs swag. Go sign up today at whitelabs.com/customer club. White Labs, pure yeast and fermentation since 1995. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Back to the beer guys that make other beer guys look like wine guys. Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. We're talking about yesteryear and what happened in our, and what happened in our past that shocked everybody. And you'd think it would be like some porn story, but no, it was about paintball, and that shocked people. They were like,
some of those.
What?
Paintball porn. Yep.
What? There you go.
It's an idea. Hasn't been done yet. Well, not that I've seen.
Oh, it's been done.
Yeah. Okay.
Please.
Sorry.
Paintball porn.
Internet's a big place.
Paintballing.
Yeah. Rule 52. Yeah.
Paintballing. All right. So, John, what is FAN or free amino nitrogen?
Well, it is amino acids. It is the amino acids that...
Are they free? Are they really free?
They're free in that they're readily assimilable.
Ah, I see. So it's not like you get them for free. It's they're floating around so the yeast can take them up. Yes.
Yes, very easy for the yeast to take up and consume. Provides the basic building blocks the yeast need to generate more yeast cells, as well as power, parts of their metabolism. They actually consume these amino acids during fermentation, so it's part of their yeast. The food that the yeast consume, it's not just sugar that they're eating. They're also consuming lipids, fatty acids, amino acids, all these basic building blocks of life. They're consuming these along with the sugar to produce carbon dioxide, alcohol, esters, other fatty acids, and so on. And it's part of they're part of fermentation. So understanding how fan and free amino nitrogen affect fermentation is really very important to the brewer.
So you use the word food, yeast food. At some of the homebrew shops, I see products labeled yeast food.
Right.
Yeast nutrients.
Is that or yeast fertilizer?
Yeah.
Or yeast nutrient. So, when they say yeast food, can I be assured that that's got the free amino nitrogens in it?
Well, not necessarily, but I mean, in general, yes. I mean, you can buy yeast energizers, yeast nutrients that will contain fan. Very often, they will also contain other nutrients the yeast need. Vitamins such as biotin, minerals, also fatty acids, proteins, and so on, and amino acids.
Okay.
Diammonium phosphate, fertilizer, urea, is actually another compound that the yeast take in and utilize as part of their nutrition. So, but the free amino nitrogen portion is one that's often, I guess, not misunderstood, but not well understood by a lot of brewers. And it becomes more of an issue, as you were saying earlier, when you're brewing an adjunct type beer, where you're diluting the amount of amino nitrogen that the malt contributes. Now,
so it's in malt. Malt naturally has free amino nitrogen,
right? And interestingly, the amount of free amino nitrogen in barley varies linearly with its total protein. Okay. Now, there is some variation between barley varieties, but in general, they're all pretty similar. And as a general rule of thumb, you can say that the amount of free amino nitrogen in milligrams per liter is about 15 times the percent protein in the malt.
So if you have a 10% protein, you've got 150 parts per million free amino nitrogen in your wort. From the
from an all malt wort. Again, looking at typical grist
gravities.
Yes.
Small beer is going to have less, big beer is going to have more.
Right.
But for your average beer, it's interesting. Have the yeast developed? And so that amount is, I'm getting ahead. So that amount is about what you want for the yeast.
Yeah.
And because that's naturally there, do you think the yeast have kind of adapted to that's the amount of free amino nitrogen they expect?
I think that's basically the case. I mean, beer and yeast and barley have really evolved together over the last 10,000 years that we've been brewing. So yeah, I think that it really has kind of adapted to that general level.
Well, and perhaps our perception of what is great beer has also adapted to that.
Exactly. Yeah. Typically, the literature says that somewhere between 100 and 150 is probably the typical range for fan requirements in a beer for good fermentation, good flavor, etc.
Okay. So, what happens if you don't have enough?
Well, then you have a stressed fermentation. The yeast are not able to, grow as effectively as they would with, full amino nitrogen. They don't have enough food to grow. They're going to be stressed.
Are they going to be less able to manage their membranes and what's going in and out, or what's the source of the stress?
Yeah, I'm not. I guess I don't have a lot of the details, but in terms of the growth rate, the cell reproduction, that's going to decrease. So you're going to have less yeast growth, and therefore a change in beer character as a result of that, change in yeast growth. The amount of individual amino acids can also have an impact on the flavor of the beer. I guess this is where amino nitrogen or FAN gets complicated, because you can say at one point, okay, if you got between 100 and 150 milligrams per liter, you're good. But then the composition of the amino acids in that volume in that soup plays a role as well. Amino acids can be divided into about 4 groups in terms of how the yeast take them up. You have your group A amino acids, which are arginine, asparagine, aspartate, glutamate, glutamine, lysine, serine, and threonine. Those are your group A's. And the yeast will consume all of those group A amino acids first. And then when they've consumed those, they will move on to the other groups. Now, group B is also consumed in concert with group A, but much more slowly. So group A is kind of like the first choice, the priority, and then they take in group B as they come along, perhaps. Group C, which is a smaller group, it includes alanine, ammonia, glycine, phenylalanine, tyrosine, and tryptophan. Tryptophan being the turkey one.
Makes the yeast sleepy.
Yeah. Those aren't consumed until the group A amino acids are consumed. So this is where it starts impacting beer flavor and beer styles. Because if you look at an adjunct lager, per se, where you've diluted the total FAN content with an adjunct, with a low FAN adjunct, you're going to have less group A, and so the yeast will consume those and say, okay, well, now what's next? They're going to work on the group B, and they're going to start working on the group C. And when you consume, or when the yeast consume these group C amino acids, such as alanine, they're producing some different flavor compounds, and one of them, esters and so on that they'll produce. One is ethyl acetate, which has a little bit of that nail polish remover.
Which is why when I say if you add too much oxygen to your beer, you will cause solventy, nail polish. You will cause these compounds to occur because you're pushing the growth of the yeast further. They're consuming more of the free amino nitrogen compounds. They're getting into that group C, and they start producing these flavors.
Right. That's a very good point. Yeah. It's interesting that the malt the malt contains these free amino nitrogen, but about a third to a half of the total volume or the total amount of free amino nitrogen is produced during the mash. That is, this FAN is bound up in larger peptides that are broken down by protease action during the mash, not necessarily during a protein rest. These are even liberated during the normal saccharification rest, because during that the cell walls, the proteins, the carbohydrates, they're all being broken down. You're at the very top end of the stated protein rest range, but it's still happening. And so, like I say, a third to a half of your total FAN is being generated during the mash.
Well, and the other thing about pushing into that group C is, I believe that's when it starts leaving over more of the shorter chain fatty acids, which is why the esters are created.
Yeah, there's some very interesting flavors that could be liberated during from group C. You can get
because they're not using every last bit of it. They break it apart, and some of the stuff comes out, and some of it's
right. You can get rose, jasmine, other floral compounds liberated from group C amino acid metabolism that you wouldn't get from the group A and the group B. So that's why in some of these light lager styles, you'll get some very interesting floral esters that are from the yeast consuming these amino acids that you don't get in an all malt beer, for example.
So, if you were to add a free amino nitrogen, some amino acids to your wort in order to up your fan level, would you select something that is exclusively from Group A? Is that the ideal type of nutrient to add, or does it need to be
balanced?
Balanced in some way?
That's a good question. I think that kind of thing is going to depend on your yeast strain, your temperatures. I mean, all the rest of the variables of fermentation. The literature does say that the utilization of fan and the sequence of Group A, Group B, Group C is all pretty similar across all of the Saccharomyces cerevisiae strains, but you will get minor differences between them.
It's like the amount that you fart when you eat pizza and I fart when I eat pizza.
Right.
And the odor of the farts.
Yeah.
The aroma, let me say.
All of which are unacceptable.
Well,
that's my
to each
input.
his own. To each his own, John. To each his own.
Yeah. You didn't complain too much last time.
I had the windows down.
But the fact that we are dealing with a very biological component here with the yeast, how they consume the aminos, what the resultant flavor compounds are.
Right. I know they've done some studies on different compounds dosing fermentations with one type of amino acid and with another, and the resulting flavors that come out and resulting attenuation and growth and how all those things change.
Well, valine is a very interesting example. If you add valine, which is a group B amino acid, if you add a lot of valine to the wort, you will depress diacetyl evolution. You'll really decrease your total diacetyl because the acetyl hydroxy acid that are the precursors to diacetyl are generated as part of the valine synthesis process. So the less valine that the yeast need to synthesize themselves, the less acetyl hydroxy acids are created and the less diacetyl that will result. Isn't it? So,
fascinating.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh. I tell you, sometimes that's what I get from the AHA when I pull up the Brew Guru app, or I go to the conference, or I read an issue of Zymergy. I've got that moment where I learn about something that I didn't know before. I know a lot about brewing, but sometimes I'll learn something new, and it's because of great organizations like the AHA that have brought people together and helped disseminate information that brewing has improved. And one of the things you can do is, sign up for the AHA, and then you're going to get their great Brew Guru app. You can get it for free beforehand, but it's a limited trial. You see how awesome it is, and then you're like, yeah, I should just sign up. Because it's going to show you where you can save the price of membership very quickly. You can go just about anywhere, and you're going to see all the great discounts that are available to you. At homebrew shops, you can get yourself some discounted Blickman engineering gear. You can get yourself some discounted beer at various breweries. Fantastic app. Check them out. You can get it from all the regular places. The Google Play Store, the Apple App Store,
7-Eleven,
small kid on the street corner. Just ask him to show you the goodies. Right there, you can get all that and more. All right, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we can talk more about fan right after this.
Army, have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Ken Grossman of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company says making great beer is hard. Making the same great beer every day is harder. Brewers Publications announces its latest release for breweries of any type and size. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers by Mary Pelletieri. Proper quality management for small, regional, and national breweries is critical. Whether you are an established business or brand new, learn the best ways to create and manage a quality system in your brewery. This book will guide you in developing a comprehensive program that will grow with your brewery, help ensure quality processes in the brewery, and continue providing great beer for your fans. Quality management for breweries is critical for continued success. This guidebook teaches you to integrate quality management in every level of the operation. It will guide you in developing a comprehensive program to ensure quality processes in your brewery. Quality Management, an essential guide for brewers, now available from Brewers Publications. Learn more at brewerspublications.com. If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com. Also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Back to the two guys that know how to turn beer into beer. This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. We're talking free amino nitrogen, what it means to your beer and your fermentation. It's a critical part. I would suffice to say that without free amino nitrogen, you get a shitty fermentation.
Yes. Yeah.
So, like if you're making a wine, how much free amino nitrogen is in grape must?
I have no idea. I have a small idea. Yeah,
next to nothing. What about in mead, in honey?
Same problem.
Right.
And
so it's critical to add that.
Right.
And a lot of people are.
Yeah, and yeast nutrient. I mean, and that is, if you look at modern mead making, adding yeast nutrient is part of the process. to make up for those deficiencies. And now, John, you are a winemaker.
Yes, I am.
Do you add quite a bit of fan or some fan to your must?
Yes, I sure do. Yes, use different yeast nutrients depending on what we're making. Yeah.
How much do you add roughly? I mean, do you know in terms of milligrams per liter?
I don't. I'd have to look on the
jar
on the product. Yeah,
okay.
And then there's some that are do that and enhance color and all sorts of different things that we use. So,
yeah, I mean, in terms of, as we were saying, in terms of beer wort, we're generally looking somewhere in the range of 100 to 150 milligrams per liter. Most typical barley malt or all malt will have about 150 to anywhere from 120 to 200 milligrams per liter, depending on the protein content of the barley and the gravity of the wort, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a factor. Earlier I was mentioning the fact that a third to a half of your fan comes from the mash. It's interesting which amino acids are generated or enhanced by the mash, and those are lysine, which is a group A amino acid, leucine and valine, which are group B amino acids, and then alanine, which is group C amino acid. And those are the ones that are produced substantially during the mash. The other amino acids, group A, arginine, asparagine, glutamate, glutamine, etc., serine, those are already present in the wort and are not really affected. Their volume, the amount of those aren't really affected by the mash. So, kind of interesting in terms of understanding what the mash is doing for you, understanding what adjunct dilution of the mash can do for you in terms of accentuating group A over group B. As Jamil said, in terms of the amount of yeast growth, the amount of oxygen you add, affects how much fan that the yeast will consume during fermentation.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so we know we need to add this to our wine and our mead, but there's about the right amount in beer. I mean, what if I was to add more? I mean, isn't more better? Isn't more nutrition better for the yeast?
Well, it can be, but you would also, I guess you're also probably dominating
a lot of growth too, yeah.
Well, you're encouraging a lot of growth. You're also encouraging the group A amino acids over the group B and group C because, those are taken up first. And there's been a couple of really good papers that show the progression of consumption in terms of amino acid groups versus the percent solids or the fermentation of the sugars. And then they really show that behavior in terms of preferential A versus B versus C. So by adding lots of fan to the wort or brewing a very high gravity beer, such as in the case of a barley wine, you are probably going to dominate group A esters over the group B and group C. Whereas if you do a high adjunct beer, now you're going to get, you're going to have less A available, and you're going to get more impact
go deeper into the C's,
right? Which will give you some of those more floral characters,
or even become short. The yeast are unable to cope with some of the stresses of fermentation.
Right.
You get less attenuation. You don't get a full attenuation. You don't get as rapid a fermentation.
Right.
All those problems.
And then you get more of the really negative flavors affecting the beer as well.
Is some of this shown in the yeast book that just got published?
The one that was posed back in like 2010?
Yes.
Yes. We talk about it. I don't know how much we talk about it in detail. Free amino nitrogen is in there, and some of it is mentioned. The interesting thing is the combination of additional free amino nitrogen and additional oxygen causes excessive growth in the yeast, and you end up with your solvency, your estery, all that sort of thing.
Isoamino acetate.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And
So-
those, real harsh flavors.
And also, you can get to a point where you grow too much yeast, and it's all too rapid, and your fermentation's too rapid. You end up with more acetaldehyde. You end up with more green apple at the end.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you can do too much as well as too little. So you got to kind of be careful about. It's like zinc. You can have too little zinc, and then your beer will not attenuate fully. The yeast will crap out. You can have slow and sluggish ferments. You put too much in, that's toxic to the yeast, and you end up with a similar problem. So you just got to be careful about what you're doing on one or the other.
Yeah, going back to the valine, before everybody puts in rush orders for valine for their beers.
During the break, I went on Amazon and I got myself a 2-day order of valine.
Yeah, 50-pound sack.
50-pound sack of valine, you bet.
Yeah. Well, if you put in too much valine, then you're going to really amp up the isobutyl acetate ester, which is your very sweet, fruity, tropical banana kind of character. You don't necessarily want that to dominate your beer. A little bit is nice, but.
Yeah, you can be very careful. The whole thing is like a kind of a magical, balanced, spinning wheel type of thing, or spinning plate on a stick, And if you upset one, thinking you're fixing it, or you try and move one faster, then one plate faster, it flies off and hits a bunch of others, and all of a sudden, you've got a whole different problem.
Yeah, flying is a very good metaphor for it. I mean, you can't make the main wing too big or too small, because then it doesn't fly well. Same thing with the tail wing, rudder. I mean, there's a whole, all these aspects that make an airplane fly.
Kind of balance and everything.
Yeah, same thing applies to the.
You change one thing, you got to look at other things, because change one thing, you might change two.
Well, finish the front, finish the rear, right?
Oh yeah, finish the rear.
Finish the rear. Yeah.
Usually,
Is this the Adam and Eve segue?
Finishing the front.
Is this where we? Speaking about finishing the rear,
finishing the rear. Oh, we might as well now. Speaking about finishing the rear.
Yeah, that way Bevo won't think there's anything different going on.
Fluid.
Are you looking to spice things up in the bedroom?
Are you looking to finish the rear?
Been fantasizing about finishing the rear with your lover?
Trying to cover your ass?
With an adventurous new toy or adult movie? Well, here's an offer you won't be able to resist. You can go to adamandeve.com for limited time only. You get 50% off just about any one item by using the offer code JAMIL, Jamil, at adamandeve.com. You get the one item for 50% off, and then what they're going to do for you, they're going to give you free shipping, John Blickman. They're going to give you... Why is my name not offer code at blickmanengineering.com? That's what I need to figure out. It's an offer code at all the finest websites. And they're going to give you...
Should use my name for Adam and Eve.
A free sex swing.
Sex swing?
Sex swing. That you could hang up on the door in your house. You could go be like John Palmer, hang it up in the tree in your front yard. You could use it for many things. Apparently... Blickman Engineering has a cornicle adapter that will allow the cornicle to hang in the sex swing.
You gave away our new product.
Well,
he gave a little sneak peek, a little teaser. So now people are going to want to know about it. They're going to want it.
We can use gravitational pressure. You can start centrifuging your beer in the cornicle.
Wow!
By rotating it
it's like
and
the
drop
space
the yeast
station.
out. Huh?
Ooh.
Perfect.
Next product, you can spin that cornicle to drop the yeast out.
Are they stainless straps?
They apparently take some stains on them. They can build up a level of stain.
You took that to a place I was not going.
They're very
as in my fetish for everything stainless.
Beverly just assumes
not
the
to get
worst
stained
of anything.
Yes.
She just assumes that it's the worst thing that you can imagine. That's where she goes.
She has been dealing with Jamil, so.
Yeah. Right. The worst thing she could imagine. She loves me. See?
I do.
Yes.
I'm not sure why.
I love Bevo. So, go to adamandeve.com. Get your one item for 50% off. Use the offer code Jamil, Jamil. You're going to get the free sex swing, the free shipping. Get one today before this offer goes away. I think could be pretty special. So check them out. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we will wrap up talking about free amino nitrogen right after this.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone Certification Program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American meat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone Certification Program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone Certification Program. We know beer.
Learning to brew has never been so disgusting. This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. We're having a good old time down in the Hop Grenade. Lots of good beers. Lots of good company. Lots of very inappropriate jokes. You know.
No, don't nod your head, Bevo.
That's what you get. That's what you get down at the Hop Grenade.
Making me feel bad.
I did get a question about free amino nitrogen from a listener who was experiencing a diacetyl problem, and he said that he read a paper that said with an increase in free amino nitrogen, you get an increase in diacetyl production.
That's interesting. It could be due to a preponderance of the group A.
Yeah,
kind of stymieing the uptake of group B.
The valine.
Yeah,
it could be. I'm thinking it's just directly related to growth.
Too much growth, too much acetohydroxy.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely could be that too.
Right.
I think diacetyl is such a complex topic, but I mean, the fact that you can get diacetyl appearing, after packaging, and I think we're seeing more of that into today's brewing because we're so much more oxygen conscious in terms of our fermentations and our packaging that acetohydroxy, the precursors to diacetyl, may not be getting oxidized during the normal brewing process, such that it takes weeks of after packaging for it to oxidize and appear as diacetyl in the beer. Our dry hopping practice probably contributes to that. With post fermentation, post packaging oxygen that is not not appearing earlier in the process, so that the diacetyl converts and can be consumed by the yeast during maturation.
Not just pure packaging too early, or
it could be packaging too early, but I think maybe you're saying what is more appropriate is to say not enough maturation or not enough maturation time to clean up the diacetyl before packaging.
Correct. Okay.
Possibilities.
Sure. What else have we not covered about free amino nitrogen?
Proline. Proline is group D, and it's one of the few amino acids, that the yeast really don't take up. So a lot of proline amino acid is left over in the wort, and this is one of the sources, these proline type amino acids and peptides that are the cause of haze. So there you go.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. Don't know what else to add about amino nitrogen.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, like we were talking earlier, it adds to, the importance of, the amount of oxygen you add, the other nutrients that are available. It's all tied into one big kind of interrelated system where you can't just address one or the other. It's good to make sure that you're in balance all the way across the board.
Yeah. You have to look at it as a package.
So does that play the same, barrel aging or?
Well, barrel aging, is a post fermentation maturation kind of process. Really, a lot of the character that we look to get during aging is tannin extraction from the barrel, flavor extraction from the barrel, oxidation of the flavor compounds in the beer. So the free amino nitrogen really doesn't enter into that aspect of it except as potential oxidation or sources of oxidized compounds.
Yeah. So more of the oxidized side of things rather than yeast compounds.
Yeah, the aldehydes that would form from the amino acids would be some flavor active compounds.
So it's more of a finished component rather than not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Speaking of great,
great
fermentation.
Great fermentations. Thank you, John. Good job segueing and reminding me. Great fermentations. That's John Blickman's local brew store. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and they have staff. Well-trained staff that knows probably the most about Blickman Engineering products outside of Blickman Engineering themselves. Good folks there. They offer great customer service, same-day shipping on many items, and one great place to get your Blickman Engineering gear, yeah?
And absolutely.
And Anvil, and they carry the Anvil products. Yeah, not everyone's living the high life like Porno Steve here, working at the Brewing Network.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe your budget's tight, and you'd like to have the Blickman gear, but you want something just solidly built, quality products. Maybe not
as many bells and whistles,
but still good products. Maybe look to get the Anvil products.
Yeah.
Also well done. And you can check that out at greatfermentations.com. Be sure to like them on Facebook. They are GR8 Fermentation, and find them on Instagram and Twitter as GR8 Fermentation. It says the same thing in both. I don't know why I couldn't just say all three. Or it's a typo on one of those. Just like somebody telling me that it should be feedback at BlickmanEngineering.com when it should have been support at BlickmanEngineering.com.
Why log into our contact us on our webpage.
Feedback.
And it'll just send you to the right place.
Yeah, I'll send you to the right place.
Yeah. Is that for burners and everything?
That's for everything.
Everything. Okay.
Yes.
For burners. Are you a burner? Is that?
It's strictly for burners, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you going to be next, Mr. Blickman?
I am
What's
heading
your next event?
To Santa Rosa tomorrow for the Brew Your Own boot camp.
Oh.
Going to be brewing with Gordon and Vinny.
Oh, yes. I talked to Brew Your Own about the boot camp. I just can't do it. I'm leaving for 5 weeks in a week, so
rough.
I can't make it happen. I gotta focus on everything else.
Too many brews.
Yeah. So yeah. Otherwise, I'd love to do it. That'd be awesome. I bet you'll have a great time.
Yeah. I did the one in Burlington just November, beginning of November, I think it was, and. Really good group, really good time. Highly recommend looking into it. It was good.
Nice. Excellent. All right. Well, I guess that's it for fan, unless anyone has any more questions. I don't think so. All right. We are done. Another great show. Another great time. Glad you guys could be here in studio.
Yeah. Thank you.
Looking forward to it in a year, maybe? Or maybe we'll do some live shows from the conference.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Right. Have to talk to Justin on that. You tell Justin you want it, and he'll make it happen. If I tell him,
I'm afraid to tell him that.
Oh, tell Beverly.
She's the producer. Yeah.
Tell Beverly to tell him.
No, I'll just tell Beverly.
Yeah. Then it will get done.
Much more approachable.
That's the most important thing.
She gets stuff done.
Yes.
Like pizzas.
And I'll tell you, the thing you can get done for us is going out, checking out BlickmanEngineering.com, talking to our sponsors, making sure that you're supporting our sponsors because they're paying for this, so you don't have to pay a penny for it. So check them out, BlickmanEngineering.com. Great folks, innovating your brew day. You can also go to thebrewingnetwork.com/store. There's all sorts of goodies there. When you buy that stuff, it goes directly to the bottom line of the Brewing Network. Really helps keep Justin off our backs for not making any money or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah. They get shirts, they get hats, they get hoodies, they get, glassware. Apparently they don't have bike jerseys, but, hey, so what? But they do have the rafts and the oars. And
the sea monkeys.
And the sea monkey kits. Grow your sea monkeys, your own little friends in a jar. All at brewingnetwork.com/store. Till then, everybody, brew strong.
Brew strong.
Brew strong.